Hello students, good morning to you all. Myself Farhan Kumar Mishra, and today I am going to teach you class 11, the first chapter, The Portrait of a Lady. This lesson is written by Khushwant Singh. Actually, Khushwant Singh represents in this story a pen portrait of a lady who is his grandmother. So, let us start. This is the main point of the story. You will see it carefully and then note in your copy. In the portrait of a lady, Khushwant Singh draws a lifelike pen portrait of his grandmother. He and his intimate relations with her since his childhood. However, a turning point came in their relationship when the narrator's parents sent for them in the city. The English school, science and music did not appeal to her. The narrator went abroad for higher studies. His arrival after 5 years from abroad was an occasion for celebration. The old lady tried herself and failed. Her death was mourned not only by the narrator's family but also by the sparrow. She used to feed them regularly in the afternoon while living in city. This is the main theme of the story, The Portrait of a Lady. Now in detail. As I have told to you, in The Portrait of a Lady, Khushwant Singh draws a pen portrait of his grandmother. So, as you have seen in the screen, his grandmother was like everybody's grandmother. She was quite an old woman. It was hard to believe that once she had been young and pretty. The thought itself was revolting. His grandmother pictures hung above the main telepiece in the drawing room. He looked at least 100 years old, means the picture of the Khushwant Singh grandfathers that was hung on the wall. It seemed to be like that it would be at least 100 years old man photograph. Khushwant Singh grandmother was a short lady. She was fat and slightly bent. She had a wrinkled face. She looked very old. She had been looking the same for 20 years. She could not walk straight. She hobbled about the house in the spotless white clothes. She had to keep her one hand on her waist to balance her body. It was to balance her stoop. She held a rosary in the other hand. She was always telling the beads, means prayer of the god. Her silver locks scattered over her pale face. Her lips constantly moved. She always prayed to herself. She presented a picture of peace and contentment. The narrator in the further month, the narrator and his grandmother were good friends. His parents had left him with her in the village. They were always together there. She used to wake him up in the morning. She got him all ready for school. She said her morning prayers in an unchanging sing-song. She would wash his wooden slate and plaster it with yellow chalk. She would take an earthen pot and a red pen. She would tie them in a bundle and hand it to him. She would give him a thick slate, stale chapati, means the chapati that is prepared in the night, with a little butter and sugar spread on it. She tried several stale chapatis with her for the village dog. The grandmother always went to school with the narrator. Actually, the school was attached to the temple. There, the priest taught the children the alphabet and morning prayers. The children sat in rows on other side of the veranda. They sang the alphabet and the prayer in a chorus. Chorus means you can understand when many persons. So here the sense of the many boys of Kushwant Singh age. The grandmother sat inside the temple. She spent her time in reading holy books like Gita, Ramayana, Mahabharata, anything. She would walk then back home with him, means Kushwant Singh, the narrator. The village dogs would gather at the temple door. They growled and fought for the chapatis thrown to them. One day, the narrator parents sent for them in the city. Means the narrator and his grandmother went to the city. It was a turning point. Very, very remarkable things that is. It was a turning point in their friendship. They shared the same room. His grandmother no longer went to school with him now. The narrator went to an English school in a motor bus. There were no dogs in the street now. The grandmother took to feeding the sparrow in place of dog. As dogs were not available in her mohalla where she lived. As the years rolled by, the grandmother and her grandson saw less of each other now. She asked the narrator what was taught to him in the school. He told that he was taught science, music, etc. She hated English and science. She felt sad that there was no teaching about the God and the shady pictures at the new school. She didn't like music lessons being given in the school. To her, music had leveled association, means not good. It was good only for prostitute and beggars. Yes, in those days music was supposed to be a very, very inferior work. The narrator went up to university. He was given a room of his own. The common link of their friendship was broken. Here mind about this line. The grandmother accepted her loneliness quietly. She busied herself with her spinning wheel. She talked rarely to anybody. She relaxed only in the afternoon. She enjoyed herself while feeding the sparrow. She would sit in the veranda. She broke the bread into little bits and threw them to the sparrow. Hundreds of sparrows collected around her. They created a hell of noise. Some came and sat on her legs. The other perched on her shoulder. She never drove them away. Feeding the sparrow was the happiest half hour of the day for her. The narrator now decided to go abroad for higher study, and the grandmother was not upset. She came to drop at the railway station. She did not show any emotion. She kissed his forehead silently. The narrator thought that it was the last sign of physical contact between them. Thus, the narrator, when returned home after 5 years, the grandmother did not look a day older. In the evening, a change came over her. She didn't pray on that evening. She collected all the women of the neighborhood. She took an old drum and started singing. She continued thumping the old drum for several hours. She sang of the home coming of warriors. They had to persuade to her to stop. Singing and beating of the drum could make her tired. For the first time, mind it in your mind, for the first time, she did not pray. The next morning she fell ill. She declared that her end was near. Means she said that she was about to die. She did not want to waste any moment time talking to them. She lay peacefully in bed. She continued praying and telling her beads. Then her lips stopped moving. The rosary fell down from her lifeless fingers. She was dead. She was dead. She was laid on the ground. Her body was covered with a red shroud. Shrod here means in Hindi sense kafan. It was evening, the sun was setting. They brought a wooden stretcher. They stopped halfway in the courtyard. Thousands of sparrows sat near her dead body, but they did not chirp. Everyone felt sorry for the birds. The narrator's mother brought bread and broke it into the little crumb. She threw those crumbs to them. The bird took no notice of them. When they carried her dead body outside, the sparrow flew away quietly. So, my dear student, this is the detailed summary of your this lesson. Listen it carefully. For the your help, I have written all things on the screen. Thanks a lot. That's all.